I'm a family recovery coach and I'm the founder of Hopeless to Happy Coaching. I support, nurture and empower people who have got an addicted loved one in their lives to prioritise their own self-care, and I also teach them how to support their addicted loved one in the right way. I'm Linda Easto and I have 25 years first-hand experience of dealing with an addicted son. From my experience, I know and understand exactly how I was affected as a family member. On a day-to-day basis, it was like an emotional roller coaster, and I struggled for 18 years before I actually found the right help for me, because wherever I looked, all the help, all the research I was doing, it all came back to the addict. So there is very little out there for the families of addicts or people that are involved in the addicts' lives. So therefore, when I did find the right help for myself, which was a bit of a fluke, so that was back in 2013, I then started my journey of rediscovery, if you like. So I started to work on my needs and how to look after myself, how to put my self-care first. And I think the first thing that I really learned was I could not support my addicted son from an empty cup. And I did have a breakdown, so I know how hard it is, because the chaos that goes with addiction on a day-to-day basis, the ups and downs, the roller coaster that you're actually on, it completely drains you and you become obsessed by the addict and obsessed by the addiction. And because of this obsession, from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep at night, all you are thinking about is, where are they, what they're doing, are they safe? Oh my goodness, are they going to get beaten up? Or you hear an ambulance siren, your stomach goes over, and the anxiety because you're like, oh my God, I wonder whether that's for him. It just takes over your life on a daily basis. I found a family support group for the loved ones of addicts. And I remember going to that first meeting. I know how hard it is to reach out for help, how lonely I felt, how isolated I felt. And I was so afraid. I felt guilty. I felt ashamed. I couldn't carry on like that. And I suppose I'd just come to the end of my tether. I'd tried everything. Nothing was working. So I went to this family support group, and I was a gibbering wreck when I went in. But the love and support in that room, because everyone in the room they were all on different stages of their recovery journey, because they were rediscovering who they were. They gave me time to just tell my story. And then within a couple of weeks, you realise that it's about you. And as much as you are so intrinsically linked with addiction and the addict, you have to start making the changes yourself and start working on your own self-care, because if you carry on the way that you're going, you're not going to be in a very good place, and the addiction will have got worse, because addiction, if the families don't get the right help and the right advice and the right support, the addict will just get deeper and deeper and deeper into the addiction. People don't understand addiction, so I like to educate them, because if they understand what addiction is, and then if they understand the traits of an addict, and then if they understand the roles that they actually play in the addiction, because addiction is a family disease, then they can start looking at how, if they change their behaviours, how it starts to impact and affect the behaviours of the addicted loved one. And I will always say, you are the best chance that your addict has got of recovery, but only if you start working on your own self-care. And if you start working on your own self-care and change your behaviour towards the addicted loved one, you've got more chance of them reaching out for professional help. I mean, one of the biggest learnings I had was that addiction, it is a mental health disease. It is a disease of the brain, and it lives in the part of your brain that controls your breathing. So if you take a deep breath, breathe out, hold your breath for as long as possible, hold it there, and all of a sudden you have to gasp for air. That's how strong addiction is. My son was in addiction for 25 years, so all of his adult life, and his addiction started at the age of 15. And he didn't get into recovery until the pandemic, believe it or not. And he has now been in recovery for around about 20 months. And it's the first time he's been in recovery for all of his adult life. If you reach out for support, don't be ashamed. You didn't cause this. You can't control it. You can't cure it, but you've got choices.